Okay guys, I'm doing a test stream right now. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was live. It wasn't working. It was being really weird. So it's kind of dropping frames like every so often, like a little lag spike. I need to figure out how to like make this better. But I don't know, like I don't want to lower the bit rate even more because that's just like bad if I have to do that. So yeah. I'm gonna stop the stream actually, sorry. And now you work. And now you work. Okay. So dropped frames, none. So far it's actually working, but the road just started. It's not, nothing's loading up. To do display capture add. Display capture, beat, Twitch. Yep. Yep. I can't find the, okay, what's it? CS, okay, 9, geez, that's a lot of viewers for, thing, yeah. How do you have, it's 3:30 a.m. and it's, oh god. God. Okay, guys. I did vote for Team Dignitas on my strafe account. I recommend you guys download on your iPhone or a Samsung, probably anything. I'm not sure what it's not on besides probably the Amazon App Store, because that's trash. So right now, it's obviously Team Dignitas versus Renegade, and I did vote for Team Dignitas, and I want to keep my score. I want to see how good I could do, and I might be doing another one of these streams or just like my work loadout or what I'm picked and stuff like that. I enjoy this. Probably gonna go with VOD later, video on demand, whatever you want to call it. So we've been going for 8 minutes. God damn it. I probably should turn up the desktop audio just so you can listen to it.
Team Dignitas poised for a double peak. Although Jacob's backing off and Pensky, he's in trouble now. He's stuck behind a wooden panel and the numbers game is there for the T's. Although it's running out, I have no idea what's going on. Jacob with 2. 3 on 3 now. There's a rotation from the B players. Kremen forced back onto ramp. Do Renegades know he is there?
Jacob did such a good job there. I mean, he got 2 kills, but look at all the dinking going on. Nifty and Azza sub 10 HP. That is a problem for them against all these M4s. There's a good trade coming in from Rubino, but JKS holding it down in the Palace area. Now all players are known for Rubino. He doesn't have a kit at the moment, so he has to get the kills. He's got a Molotov to work with at the moment, so he might want to toss that down someplace to make his life easier, but he will get absolutely destroyed. And that is good work from Renegades, considering that they were left with 3 after breaking connector, and 2 of which had 10 HP. They still managed to win that round.
Renegades,
really nice from Renegades.
Yeah, they are causing problems for Dignitas around that connector area. Dignitas, you saw they tried to fight for it, but then the timing of Renegades was superior with Jacob moving away, leaving his teammate in isolation. He did well, Jacob, to get 2 kills in that situation, but it was not enough. Dignitas back into Eco Town. And the lost bonus is not quite spectacular just yet.
Thank you for watching.
So Renegades will start slow and try to pick these players off. Try to weaken the already weakened defenses of Dignitas. They've bought a P250 in this round, and that is literally it. An investment of $300.
Well, what do you say about that?
By the way,
I guess it is likely going to be a slow one here, as Renegades are looking to make this as safe as possible. Playing it smart, making sure everything is under control.
A lot of people are going to disagree with that for whatever reason, but
well, looks like everything is so far.
There's not much to say, is there? The CTs are in A. Renegades are walking through mid. That's it right now. Renegades are making the right choice. You've made the right choice, son. Like an insurance salesman, you guys have made the right choice.
So I like how you just described that, because I went with like the American election and started getting political.
I had no idea what you're talking about, to be honest. So I was like, I'm just going to leave this alone.
Well, I said the choice is really clear, unlike the choice in the American election, last American election, where there was, it's many people's opinion.
I suppose
the candidate was a clear choice.
Yeah,
right?
fit for office, perhaps.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you had no idea. He was like, what is he doing right now?
Yeah.
What is this guy saying?
I was like, I'm not going to touch this. I don't want to throw him under the bus, but I don't understand. I'm sure there are plenty of times where you have no idea what I'm saying.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah, that's quite reasonable.
Most of the time when you're going for that. Because I think like a lot of the time you don't necessarily know if it makes sense yet,
Look,
but you kind of like keep developing it and you wait to like see. Oh, actually, okay, now I made it work. Like you gotta keep just going.
My analogies are outstanding. They are second to none. They are works of art. They are poetry. You could hang them on a wall. Be typing them lyrics, man.
I do wonder, like,
and frame them.
Why you know, having like screens which are like GIFs or whatever that you could, like, you know, why is that not on people's walls these days, like everywhere? That's like a kind of a futuristic sci-fi thing, right?
GIFs. That sounds awful.
I know it probably would be awful, but I feel like that's kind of what the future has. Isn't
that what a digital photo frame is for?
Yeah, just like loads of those everywhere.
Sounds horrible.
It does, doesn't it? But I'm surprised that I haven't seen them everywhere.
Even though it sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Well, as you know, you don't necessarily like the way things get, you know, changed, do you? Necessarily, it's not like it's for a generation that's beyond you, maybe beyond your understanding.
For a generation of wankers, then.
Fair enough. Right, this has been a very interesting discussion in these eco rounds. Now we go back into the action. We've got 11 rounds for Dignitas and 9 for Renegades. And Renegades, they actually had a lot of, rather, Dignitas had a lot of success going really fast, and I think that is stylistically something that suits Renegades as well. We haven't really seen too much of it just yet. That said, they are lobbying around the palace area and looking to just jump in on top of the A-bomb site.
A taste of Dignitas' own medicine, perhaps, but maybe it won't be so successful. Croman and Jacob with a nice crossfire. Tensky controlling connector for the time being. 2 Renegades players remain. Smoke's down, but the CTs could look over it. Rubino taken down. Do they identify, though, that it was Tensky who was actually killing in connector? Another person is there. Nifty now in a 1 versus 3, and Fox will shut him down. Shut it down, just like in the wire. 3-round lead for Dignitas, but Renegades, they've built some money. They can buy again.
Into the sky we go. And we're back. Out of the sky.
It's like a drone out of control.
Like the drone that's cut up my arm when you flew it into my arm.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Maybe that wasn't out of control when you just were like, I'm just going to throw it into this guy's arm.
Why not?
Screw this guy.
Life is about experiences.
Get this guy off my boats. Get this guy out of shorts. Yusilo with a very nice pick off there. Really fast round. This is what I was alluding to in the previous round about how speed can very well play into the style of Renegades. And they are doing a fantastic job. Nifty with a pick off there into connector. Tensky was trying to get an idea of what's going on, take control of the situation. But the control is gone, at least as far as Dignitas are concerned.
Renegades waiting for Dignitas to make a mistake. Dignitas have to gamble at this point. They are facing resets. That big grey button on the Super Nintendo may be pressed soon. When the screen goes black with a grey line in the middle. When you rage quit. When you go around to somebody's house, you whoop them at their own game and they turn off the SNES because they're pissed. That's what might have just happened now. Dignitas are gambling. They are all going to the B bomb site. And this is something which has been a point of discussion recently. I think it was Happy from Envy who brought it up about Cloud9.
Yeah, this is really smart. I mean, it's like, it just doesn't make sense to, like, because a lot of teams just have like one guy at A here, maybe 2 on B or something, or vice versa. And it's like, it doesn't really make sense because you're basically weak everywhere. And one great situation for your team is to actually save all your guns. So why not do both and be strong somewhere and just take a risk that if they go to the other place, you know, you just lose around, but you can save guns. That said, though, this is kind of the problem with this, potentially, is that if the other team sees that there's no pressure anywhere, they see this, they're like, okay, we understand that you're trying to save, and we pretty much know exactly where you're going to try to save, because it's quite obvious, and we can just have all the time in the world to attack you. And what can you do? What on earth can you do here? And so this is one of the things, like, if you're going to go for this play, you have to take that situation into account. You perhaps have to expand your, you have to play a bit more aggressively for exits to kind of slow the T's down, maybe. It's one way to handle it. That was really nice from Renegades. There's a lot of teams that don't realize soon enough that the other team is saving with every player.
JKS with 25 kills for his team. That being quite a nice one. Infamous JKS. Once went a game of cash without dying a single time.
Let's go and
in our old leagues. Indeed he is. Pistols, a familiar story for both CT teams, I think it's fair to say. Beyond the pistol, Dignitas have really won one round in this half. One round, and that does not bode well. The loser of this faces elimination. They will be forced to walk the plank. They will be no longer welcome on this cruise ship, cruising towards the major. In Krakow, the land of pierogi, Polish cheesecake. Another thing's Polish because it is in Poland.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. And of course, earlier today we had Penta making it through, which is really cool.
Deservedly.
Yeah,
deservedly.
Yeah. They're going to be very interesting to keep an eye on. Some exciting games from them in store for us, I'm sure, in the future.
I recommend Penta investigate Polish cheesecake. It's good. I can. It has the bottle stamp of approval. It's a very rare stamp. I
feel like you should. Well, you need to show me what it is, because you talk about it like whenever anyone mentions anything relating to Poland, you immediately mention that the cheesecake every single time without fail.
You don't understand, man. It's so good. It's really good. Polish cheesecake is unreal. Tweet down about Polish cheesecake if you are familiar with it. So it's eco time again for Dignitas. They have 5 CZs. These can be dangerous. This is a winnable situation if Renegades make a mistake.
Yeah, they were pretty good in the previous rounds, and much like Dignitas was on these kinds of situations where they... This is cool, actually. Ysolda's got very fast positioning there into Connector. He's actually like, okay, this is for free. I should investigate further, and he'll do so. The rest of his teammates, oh, that's cool. He saw 4 players there, which is so much good information, because even if you want to attack, let's say you want to push in, if you know that there's 4 players there on the sites, then you're like, okay, I can prepare for this. I know what nades to use. It's when you don't have the information is when things are the most scary. So this is going to be a quick one. And there you go. 12-12. The score is tied up. And where this one goes, it's become now very unclear between these two teams, as they do seem kind of even at the moment.
Well, I would disagree with you, because of the last 7 rounds, only one of them has been won by Dignitas. So I think Dignitas are in trouble.
Well, I mean, that was the same situation in the first half, right? We had a few rounds from Renegades, and they couldn't win any for like a series of 9 rounds.
Yeah, it was all T rounds being won, and guess who's on the T side? Renegades. So I think it's Renegades' match to lose at this point if the momentum continues in this fashion. Oh my god, what is that? He's doing some Michael Flatley pirouettes and shooting people in the face in mid. That is absolutely disgusting.
How did he got 2 kills out of that? And he shouldn't have been able to even get that first one. I guess whichever the first player must have been very blinded or something similar to that effect. Oh no, it gets worse for Dignitas. Losing Fox as well. Down to Rubino and Croman. And they are isolated from one another. Oh dear, it's a very strong round here from Renegades. Recovery seems very unlikely here for Dignitas in this round. And saving is really all they can likely do in this position.
I can only assume that they were trying to save the AWP. I can't see anything else that makes sense to go through at crawl space.
Yeah.
There is, for those of you who are not rap connoisseurs, Ghostface Killer has some lyrics. Run, cops got guns. Well, Renegades got guns as well. And it's Dignitas on the run now because Renegades have taken the lead. And again, it's nothing but T rounds that we're seeing in this match. Dignitas have taken a timeout. From the last 8 rounds, 7 have been won by the T side. The T side is Renegades. Dignitas have a tech issue, which they'll look to solve in the meantime. They cannot hear their coach right now, so they will fix that, I'm sure, PGL. But in the meantime, I think it's been solved already. Or maybe not. Renegades in the lead. This is now all Renegades. And if you're a Dignitas fan, I hope you're watching from the toilet, because this is very worrisome, very nervous times, Dan.
Well, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what their interpretation is as to the adjustments they need to make to remedy the situation, because there has been some rounds where they've taken some aggressions here or there, but yeah, Renegades have just been working really, really well on their entries in the majority of cases, taking over middle and so on. Again, much like Dignitas were doing on their T side. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not Dignitas just decide to keep going aggressive, or maybe they just want to play more passively. play more conservatively. Maybe that's what they think is better, considering that Renegades have been so strong at taking mid. But that's the thing too, like you never really want to allow a T side to just take mid or like for complete free. Like there should always be an exchange. You know, the exchange should either be, okay, you know, it costs them utility and maybe a player or something, or if you decide to give it to them, you yourselves should take map control elsewhere to make up for that, so you get more information. And also because you're less likely to run into a bunch of players, maybe like one or something like that. So, and that risk is going to be worth it in those situations. So, it's a lot to be thinking about for Dignitas. And yeah, you can see there Yusilo just jumping through the smoke. You can see he turns around. He wasn't blinded actually because he actually turned and his teammates flashed him in. So, yeah, that was a really good play there from Renegades.
I wonder if he gets that kill if Jacob has an M4A4.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean,
because of the faster fire rates.
Yeah, I switched back to the M4A4 now as well. I think it's the way forward, man, at the moment. I think a lot of people have been switching to it recently.
They have.
Even Happy, was it? It was a Happy, right?
Happy, Rain.
Yeah, Happy and Rain, yeah.
A lot of CT sides, we've seen only 1 of 5 people with a silenced M4.
It's definitely...
across varying maps.
So that's common for sure.
So Dignitas are in trouble. They are in a lot of trouble. Just like when your mum walks in your bedroom and you're on a dodgy website, you're in trouble. Dignitas are in trouble. Maybe not a copy and paste situation, but by no means is the situation fabulous for them. 3 CZs. 2 players in mid for the CT side. Tensky playing in the smoke, or under the smoke rather. I do like that angle when the T's move into mid. He's got Fox running distraction as well, but to what end? The end of a gun fired by Renegades.
Yep, just 2 left on this A sites. Renegades will finish things off on B as they march their way up short. And Jacob has actually bought Kevlar in this round, so there is definitely an argument for him to save. But Croman, he's got a PT50 and no Kevlar, so there's definitely an argument for him to try to find a gun, try to get a kill, try to do something here. And Jacob himself will also be making his way forwards to play for a frag somewhere in the middle location. So they actually have good positions here to maybe get a cheeky kill. But a gun pickup, ooh, that would be fantastic. There's 1 kill, can't get that gun. And there's a trade. Ooh, and Nifty was really low.
I like that synchronized strafing in mid. That was really awesome.
Yeah.
Synchronized
Teamwork.
strafing. Their little legs scurrying along. Renegades are 2 rounds away from eliminating Dignitas. Dignitas, who have forgotten what success tastes like in this match. Again, after the first 2 rounds, they've had 1 CT round. That's it.
It's so insane as well. Like, being eliminated would be just so horribly heartbreaking for you know, whichever team it is going to be. Oh, that's a really good, sick shot there from Fox. Manages to get you still. That's a really important frag, because now that means that there's only 4 players all from the same place to attack this B bomb site. Do they commit? They don't have to commit here. They are going to go for it, and there's 3 CTs here. I think this is going to work out pretty poorly for Renegades. They're in a lot of trouble. The CTs have all day to set up here. They've lost another player before they've even tried to run in. They're just getting absolutely destroyed right now.
Yeah, just like Shredder, getting mangled by the trash compactor, getting taken out in bags, body bags by the Dignitas side. Their backs are to the wall, and they've survived with 4 players have the CT side. Finally, with another round on the board. And it's also important that they survived in the numbers. So if they were to lose this round, they've got some money to weather the storm, but they have no intention of doing that. There's cash on the Renegade side as well. They are straight back on the buy. Worth noting that Nifty's only got 10 kills in this game so far. JKS has been doing the heavy carry with 28 frags for his side. But Nifty's having a better time on the second half than the first, with 6 of his 10 kills.
And if Dignitas, you know, Dignitas don't have a lot of money, if I could speak English for just a moment, to actually work with should they lose a round. So it's obviously, you know, Renegades will be on 15, but that is something also to be concerned about for the Dignitas side. Renegades have more than enough to afford buys for the rest of the match. In goes Renegades with a player into top middle, and they have 2 players coming in from underpass as well. So they'll have this middle take underway. It seems successful, but the question then becomes, are they able to take connector? Because they have a player, JKS, by T-spawn at the moment, which would suggest that there is a possibility they're thinking about going for the A play, and they need someone on slope for that. They need to have connector for that. And the bonus as well is to have a player in the window, which they have now got as well.
This is definitely an A play from the side, but the time is running out, and Dignitas seem to have a read as to what's going on. Rubino has rotated from B into CPL, and he's going to pick off Nifty in the short position, but that might make them think it's B. Azza trying to fight for that crawl space, the bomb trying to make its way through. JKS now left alone on the ramp position. He's got 3 players to find in 20 seconds, and the bomb is nowhere near him. It might be a question of damage for JKS at this point, but he's got $10,000 in the bank. They've got no issue buying. He'll probably need to just hold on to his weapon at this point, but he won't do that. He didn't need to die after time, considering what the score is and how much money he had. He could have just ran away and held on to what he had. Maybe felt like CT damage was a bigger priority. Either way, Renegades have taken a timeout. They have 1 timeout remaining in this match. 14 apiece. This is going down to the wire. Yeah,
it really is. And Dignitas will be in a spot, I think, on this. Should they lose? Yeah, should they lose this round, they'll still have just enough money to do something in that last round to try to get the overtime situation going for them. But obviously, they're going to be wanting to crush Renegades, and Renegades are going to be in too much trouble with the money, especially if they get a bomb down in this round. So interesting times ahead here. Again, elimination match here for the PGL Major in Krakow. We're not far away to that momentous occasion. It's what every team cares the most about, the majors, the most important tournaments in Counter-Strike. And here today, a lot of teams will have their hopes dashed in these qualifiers.
Fox does not want to overextend. He doesn't want to get too aggressive, and smartly, he is immediately rotating to an entirely different position. He wants to catch these players off guard. They'll be looking for him in short. Now, we know where Nifty is. Jacob and Tensky looking to fight for connector as this round progresses. A slow approach from Renegades top mid. They don't want to make mistakes. JKS, he's been lurking towards ramp as he was in the previous round. And there go the connector smokes as Renegades start to move in. But could this be a B split? They could just quietly walk up to the B position. They could suggest a round similar to previous where they went for a split towards A. But indeed, that obviously the smoke and connector obscures the CT vision. They're going to have a 5-on-1 on the B bomb site.
That's a big deal, but it's going to be Fox. Gets the first pick off. That's Nifty dead. Dropped. Oh, wow. Actually connected that. The leg of Ustillo. Shot by Fox as well. Holding onto his position. Finally taken down. But has he bought enough time? Rubino from the shot with a triple. Looks like he has bought enough time. Because now it's just down to Azza. And Tensy's going to have a piece as well. That's 15 rounds now for Dignitas. Match points.
What a hero play from Rubino in the nick of time, especially because we saw a second T go past Fox's scope, go past the window. Rubino spotted him, and that's a crucial frag to get. That's the player I'm talking about, carrying the bomb, no less. Great headshot on a second player. Wow. Rubino with the 3K. What a beast. See them feeling it, supercharged. They have great opportunity. The last timeout from Renegades has been called, and there are 15 seconds left on that. The AKs are out for the team. JKS could drop an AWP, but I mean, Nifty's got 10 kills. So does he even want to do that? Because if he does that, I don't know if there's an AK for him to pick up. So I think he's top fragger for the team as well. So maybe he just continues with an AK, and indeed he will do exactly that. I think that's a smart choice at this point.
Nifty taking one for the team. Someone's got to do it. We've got Dignitas, I think, in a very happy place at the moment. It's like Renegades are going to just have all their chances now gambled on this A bomb site. There are 2 players to respond, and here comes Renegades.
There are basically 4 CTs already on the A bomb site. They just left Fox on short, and they are taking care of business on A so far. But there's still a... Oh, never mind. It's Azza alone. And it's a very brief round after so many T rounds from Renegades. Dignitas, when it counts, when their backs are to the wall, they stay alive. They eliminate Renegades from this tournament, and they live on to fight one more match to see if they can make the major.
Great display there of Counter-Strike from Dignitas and Renegades as well. I mean, it's that T side that really, of course, was able to make the differences, I think, for these teams. It was interesting to see how they responded at Dignitas. Again, they had a really good streak, just 9 rounds in a row after initially conceding 4 right at the start after losing that pistol. And you almost wonder, had they been able to win the pistol T side, because that T side looked so good, so consistent and diverse at the same time. That would they be able to do a much better job there even than just have 9 rounds? So it's impressive to see the form that Dignitas has been in. If we just think about where they came from when the lineup started, we had Vakaleli and Pitta there. They got kicked almost like immediately.
But before they played any matches.
Exactly. Then they brought in Tensky and Zeves. Zeves as a coach, Tensky as another prospect into the team. Then you had like 3 Norwegian players. Just like a general mix. Just an awesome. I think it's just awesome to see that they're having success.
Over to the lads on the desk to break that match down.
Indeed, thank you very much for the commentary on that game. A thrilling roller coaster ride for Dignitas and for Renegades fans alike, and yet it falls the way of Dignitas. They just don't know how to lay down and die. They've had this all the way through, as you heard earlier, from the open qualifiers. They played 3 of them to qualify for the closed, then had to get through the minor and managed to get through that as well just to get here, and they are still alive. It's an incredible story from Dignitas, and commiserations to Renegades, but they've both not been good enough at this event so far.
Yeah, still a lot of work to be done. Obviously, very disappointing for Renegades considering how the match went. Really, really streaky. Great start for them as well, being 4-0 up, and that's when the Dignitas show started on the first half. They were really playing an aggressive style, a lot of contact plays, fast connector splits, and Renegades having a lot of tough time trying to defend that.
Yeah, both these defenses really struggled with mid control. I mean, neither team could really stop the offense when it was attacking it. I mean, both teams kind of tried to do it in different ways. Eventually, at some point, both squads just said, we're not able to hold this from the standard, window, catwalk, and connector position, so we're going to push up, we'll get aggressive, and even that got slaughtered. Yeah. You have to say, I think part of it had to do, at least on the Renegade side, it's like that old-fashioned Mirage defense where they actually have the Opera and window, but the Opera just is always smoked out. Like, maybe gets a chance for one shot if they're jumping across the smoke, but other than that, you don't normally see Operas posted up in window anymore. And the crazy thing is the adjustment that Dignitas made right at the end of the second half that allowed them to win, the 4 straight, because they're having the same issues, is they just said, we're not going to try and hold mid. We're just going to sit back into the bomb sites. And outside of some good individual rounds from different players, I thought really once they sat back into the bomb sites, it was the influence of Fox with the AWP when he's able to be far back, when he's able to get a shot off, gets a pick. Nifty was never able to neutralize him in that kind of op versus op duel. So Fox hanging back and everything like that is just able to get those opening kills that really shuts down the executions. Also, it seemed weird to me that Renegades, I mean, they didn't have an answer for that switch up, and obviously they didn't have a very long period of time to kind of figure it out, only like 3 or 4 rounds. But it was very strange to see them go from that kind of mid-control style to starting to try and execute heavy out of the B halls, like 4 players in there. They like switched out of success, it feels like, at a critical moment in the game.
Yeah, there's points in time in those kind of executions where you just have to say stop. They lost a member in catwalk that's supposed to be lurking towards the window room. He dies straight from the get-go from Fox, and still 4 players in B apps waiting to go to that B bomb.
There was
site.
a minute and 20 seconds left as well when that happened.
Right,
like, you have plenty of time to readjust on the map and do something else. But yeah, I mean, it just seemed they got kind of stuck in this situation, and that's kind of what we touch on, or what I touched on earlier when we talked about how both of these teams kind of struggle to close the matches out. Those are the kind of things that you lose in the high-pressure situations, is like the wherewithal, the composure to just say, all right, we don't have this execute anymore. It's not a winning situation. Let's readjust and let's try and find something else elsewhere.
Listen, Jason, we have a word for that. It's called tunnel visioning.
Yeah,
I think that's 2 words, but I'll take it.
Hyphenated.
We'll put them together.
Put them together, make a long Welsh word or something.
Exactly.
The MVP for this one was Rubino. You could have picked probably one of 4 Dignitas players, frankly. They've had this. This has been one of their staple diets. They all chime in to the frags.
And Rubino is a very, very clutch player. I mean, he was known when he was playing more North as well. So good at clutches, and he came big in that game towards the tail end of it. You know, when Fox was playing B more passively, playing on the balcony, he gets a pick on Cat. Then he gets pressure from B-Abs and from Catwalk. Rubino comes in from Market, gets what, 2 or 3 kills?
4 kills.
A lot of kills,
round,
yeah, just chiming in there. So yeah, he's always been that having that clutch kind of a thing for him.
It's a little bit heartbreaking as well because you actually could have even picked JKS if you wanted to on the Renegade side of things.
Well, I mean, the MVP has to come from the winning team, but sure, I accept that he had by
Doesn't
far
have
away.
to, Paul. Doesn't have to.
Well, I'm with Tommy. I mean, Tommy once upon a time, he said to me, how are you picking MVPs from the team that lost? You can't have the most valuable player from the losing team. That doesn't make any sense. And I was like, actually, damn it, man. I wish he wasn't right, but he's right.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's a different debate, right? But yeah,
we can be here all day. I think we'll get a call in from him if you want.
Forget about the games. We're going to talk about this now.
Yeah, quite.
Rubino. I mean, fair play. He gets the MVP. That's obviously, it helps that he has such a critical round there right at the end, obviously. But I mean, that is what he's known for. He's not the flashy player. He's not, the guy who's going to light up the scoreboard every game. But he is that kind of like sneaky player where he just all of a sudden gets these impact kills. It's maybe just the one kill in the round, but it's the critical kill that allows you to swing, that allows you to keep a certain area of the map. So he's always been impressive in that regard.
All right, let's bring him in right now because he's waiting for us in the player area. Ruben, great game from you again on a personal note, and congrats on the MVP. But I guess you don't really care about that too much. It's just about the win today.
Yeah, I don't care about MVPs. For me, a win is a win. If I play bad, if I play good, it's the same.
Yeah. 16-14, narrow victory. You had to make a bit of a comeback towards the end as well. The adjustments that you made, they were really good. Talk us through how that happens. How do you adjust the way that Renegades played towards the end of the game?
I think they were taking middle really aggressive, and like we thought that just playing default would work, like just hold our sides, but it didn't work. So we needed to try to adapt on it. So we tried to go too short and too connection and try to take middle after a while. But like suddenly they started to crumble. I think they started to laugh when we took like a pause, which I think is a karma. I don't think
that is karma.
Yeah, but I don't think you should laugh before even winning your match because you're still not won. It's 16 rounds, then you have won. So I think they should think about that next time. Don't laugh before winning, and yeah, we won.
Okay, I like that.
Wow.
Good pointers, good karma. In terms of the way that you've played throughout this tournament, it hasn't been good, and I know that you're not happy with how you've played so far, but you have this uncanny ability to just keep going and keep getting through. I remember back in the open qualifiers, you had a rough time, you carried on going, you got through. Rough time in the closed qualifier, carried on, got through. Same in the minor, you had to keep going and keep believing, and you've got that same kind of belief here. What is it about the team and your leadership of this team that keeps you going?
I think we never give up before we have lost a game. We have in our mindset that the first 2 matches we lost 16-14, 16-13, and the reason we lost them was because of communication errors and dumb mistakes. So we still believe that we can qualify. When I played in North, we had 0-2 in the major. We got 3-2 and got to top 8. So everything is possible. Before, like as I said in my Twitter, we have 1-2 now. If we win 2, we qualify. Or no, game over. So it's the same. Just mentality, you can still win.
I like that. It's good logic. Guys, you got any questions for Ruben?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a great fan of the fast kind of pace you applied after, the first, obviously, they got the 4-0 start, but then you guys started to really run a lot of, like, connector splits, just contact plays towards the bomb sites. Was that a conscious decision playing against Renegades?
Yeah, we looked at the Renegades, how they played yesterday on Mirage versus Optic, and we thought that our T side should work pretty fine versus them because JKS was, at least when we watched them, he was playing alone on every round. So we thought, like, just trying to force A should be easy. We lost some rounds going around again. Some rounds that we maybe shouldn't have lost, but we came back and everyone had the mentality of we can do this. 0-4. We got 9-6, I think, and we could either also get more rounds. So I think the T side after that we just adapted to what they were doing and it worked.
Talk about a little bit. How was communication today? I know you stressed that pretty big after your previous win, and then also in the pregame interview, the coach kind of mentioned that there's sometimes some lackadaisical communication. Was it on point today? Did you have to overcome some of those struggles, or is that improving across this event?
I think it's improving, of course, but it's easier to have better communication when you're winning, right? When you're losing rounds, everyone is starting to be more quiet, doing their own stuff. So I think we're like a mood team, to be honest, and we need to work on that because, as I say, like if someone is playing bad, just stay positive and hold the communication up, because I know having hard times individually, I had that a lot in North, but like Rogas told me, just keep continuing communicating and you will not think about your stats. Just play, give information, it will help you and your teammates, and that's the mentality I also want my teammates to have.
Has that been one of the reasons why, uniquely, you were the only team that had 5 different MVPs at the European minor?
Well, I think we, like, all of us have, like, some things we're good at, right? We don't have kind of like... everyone has their specialty, to be honest, but I think we still have things to work on, like mentality issues, basically. If you start bad, people have hard times getting back. So we just need to try to improve that and see. Hopefully we can do that until next match, but I don't think so.
All right. So not very long until your next match is, so I'll let you go now and you can get back to your team. But congrats on the win. We'll see you a bit later on.
Good luck, man.
Cheers. Good luck.
Rubino there from Team Dignitas. They do survive yet again. It's
such a humble guy, by the way.
He is a very humble guy. It's become a thing for these guys, time and time again, of survival.
No, it's actually funny though. There are certain players that like their personality and their play style is like a direct correlation, and that's like Rubino's like one of those guys I feel where like you can just see his personality and how he plays the game. He is very humble. He does the dirty work and he just gets it done, and it's that